Gafferman is here. So today we're going to take you through someone who has been in the field for a lot of years. Someone who's going to tell us the first things you see before the actors jump in as the director's tools. Now, this person is going to tell us a bit of how the relationship between costume, cinematographer, to give us the ambience. My lecturer in school say, give you the missing scene of the entire process. I'm here today with my friend, colleague, solid guy, witty and sarcastic to the T. Tunde Lawal.
Bye.
My guy, how far?
Good.
You know you all but like this. I don't give you 2 times.
My brother, as I just took an enter, we're
repping the country in a terrible way.
Oh, it is well. It is well. How's it going now?
Very well.
Well done.
As an art director, sometimes it just feels like what we have these days is an art director who just comes and hang posters and pictures that they took on set with the same costume that they are going to use to art and just hang. Sometimes double-sided is not even holding them. And then you are shooting and say, hold, picture down for, but I've seen you work. You have a team, like, you come with this trailer. Take us through your process.
Okay.
And your team.
I don't even know where to start from. I'm just going to go get right into it. So, when I art direct, I also take into consideration the particular project we're working on, and then my team is basically built on the scope of the project that we're working on.
And you do big scope thing, blow the trumpet, blow them papa.
So most times, like I said, depending on the scope of the project, if it's a project that is big on scale and then requires huge building, then of course I now have to break my team into the construction team and then the team that films.
So hold on.
Yeah.
In your art direction process, there is a construction team.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then
there's a construction team, then there's a team for the filming aspect. So most times, because again we're in an economy that is not so friendly financially, we also have to see how we can try and maximize the team to the fullest of its ability. So sometimes we find out that some of our guys in the carpentry, when we are filming, we push them into the filming aspects to serve as the swing gang. So in the events that we have some maybe accidents on set and then things need to be fixed, or we need to quickly whip up a new set, these guys are on ground standby. We're not going to dismiss them because eventually, of course, it's filming in Nigeria. In fact, filming all over the world, things will happen, things will go wrong that needs to be fixed, and then this is why you need these guys on ground to always come in at any time you're ready.
I have seen you use piece of wood, papers, stuff, rock up something that so fantastic on set. I don't know where does it? Do you have like creative arts background or something?
I think it all stems from interest. Naturally, growing up, I was very fond of the arts, and then I was fortunate enough to get into the University of Ibadan and study theatre arts.
We will not hear a word with this UI.
So from there, I there's this thing they do in UI where because everybody's of the opinion that our parents' generation, I know things might have started changing now because everybody's more open to information. But our parents used to think that anybody going to study theatre is just going to dance and going to act. But there is a whole lot.
But they dance.
That's just a slight aspect. So the theatre now gives us the ability to pick up your interest and then major in it. So I decided to focus in speech and technical theatre.
Oh, nice.
And then that's where my interest for filming and all of this came out from. So back then in school, you have students or halls that they are celebrating their hall week or their variety shows, and then I was fortunate to have a lecturer who always said, I am not just teaching you to know things. I'm teaching you how to go into the industry and also fend for yourself, make money. So when he had shows outside of the school, he used to take us along to gain experience.
So you were already practicing while you were still
from school.
Student.
You know, I went for shows by Nigerian breweries. We did stuff for Saru back then when MTN first came from South Africa to do Saru. So all those big jobs, we were exposed to it quite early, and it shaped my creative mind to always, once you have a bank of imagination, you can do anything. True. And that's the wonderful thing about art. True. As long as you're open to imagination, things will always fall into pleasant places for you in terms of the creative process. Beautiful. You know, so I digress.
No, beautiful. Like I understand. So now when I'm seeing you work, I know that there's a bank of experience. There's this creative side of you that this is not just happening by fluke. Sometimes you're on set with people, those of you who are filmmakers, who are claiming a director, you just struggle. You know, there's a process, you know. Expose yourself to things that can help you do better on set. Yeah? You know, like I've seen, like I said, I've seen you do stuff, creative stuff. Now I understand, even while as a student, you were already practicing on the big stage. Yeah. And then from there, you moved on to...
So when we moved off from, you know, the studentship, it wasn't so difficult for me to immerse myself into the creative process when I got into the film industry. Now, for young people that are coming out there that want to find a way into the industry, it's never easy, but you have to be willing to serve. Now, I understand that we're in a situation, or we're in an economy where it has never ever been really friendly for anyone. But you know your end game. You know what you're going for. So I feel some of these things are it's what you sacrifice for the greater good for your own self.
Exactly.
Sometimes a lot of people are quite money conscious. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't put value on your work, but before you can put value on your work, you have to be able to present to the world that this is what I can do, and this is what I'm recognized for. And then everybody says that, for real, you are great at this stuff. Exactly. So if you put value on it and then you say at that time that this is, for example, you have a project, or a producer has a project, and then they call you and then you place maybe your fee and say, this is my fee. They will understand why you are charging such a fee. But you can't just out of nowhere name yourself as an art director because you've worked on one or two projects, not even because a lot of people do it. You work with an art director on a project, and then you claim that you did that project, and because it's
I don't want to call name, but I understand what you're saying.
You know, so at the end of the day, when you put yourself in that position, and then you are thrown into the deep end, because you are not at that level yet, you have cobalized yourself by claiming what you are not, and then they put you in the field and then you fail.
I was telling someone, I said, you know, it's the same groundnut you get from the malam by the roadside, with the supermarket in VI or in Lekki, but you can get that groundnut for 500 naira by the roadside, and get 2,000 naira from the groundnut in the supermarket. Now they are not selling you supermarket; they're selling you a feeling. They're selling you an ambience. They're selling you an assurance that what you are buying from us is clean and carefully selected. Malam's own will just be inside one nylon. The nylon might even have oil and all that stuff.
Take your grandpa typhoid like that.
So I see you like the supermarket art director.
Oh! I will add it to my bio, supermarket art director.
So yeah. What's like your process like with it's in a situation where you have a production designer? How do you work? How does the production designer hand stuff to you? Have you ever had a situation where production designer has a different idea and you have a different idea but the same script?
Okay, so I've been blessed to work with one of the best production designers ever that I know, at least in Nigeria. And that's Uche Nwuri. Uche is a fantastic guy. Uche is a very fantastic guy. Now, when I work with Uche, when I work with Uche, I'm art directing for Uche. Uche is production designer. Now, the production designer conceptualizes the story world. You know, he builds the story world and then he hands it over to you as the art director to what's that word now?
to bring to life,
is to implement.
Yes.
Yeah, to implement and then to bring it to life. But with Uche carries you along in the building of that world. So nothing is alien to you. So Uche even welcomes your idea. So when I work with Uche, sometimes I don't even feel like an art director. I almost feel like an assistant production designer, if there's anything like that, because we work so well, and they were so in sync with
so there's
one
a
another.
place of synergy between the production designer and the art director.
So if there is no synergy between the production, you've lost at that point, because it's very difficult for the production designer to now give you his own ideas. Then you are coming to, there's always going to be a clash. So you always have to have that, that synergy, and it works best. It's always for the best if everybody is is aligned with the story, with the story world, and then there's something that there is a way we work. I can go on and on and on if I'm talking about Uche, but again, with the Nigerian film industry, there is always a very, very serious challenge in terms of budget. My experience so far, my very tiny little experience.
No, not tiny.
Some projects, they do not have the budget to accommodate a production designer.
Yeah, true.
So what they do sometimes is they employ an art director and they saddle in with the responsibilities of the production designer. And sometimes this can be quite stretching for the art director. Now, if they are unfortunate to get somebody who is not, that
who's supposed to even be a set assistant.
Yeah, exactly. Who is not that dynamic. Then they are going to run into problems.
True.
And it goes back to what we were saying earlier on about how budgets affect production value and all of that. So it's quite intertwining.
It's been a big, except from the projects that we've been on and a few other art directors. It's always an issue where they are waiting for set. I understand, sometimes these things, it looks like it's the department that has a problem. I have been in a situation where the art director came up and said, guys, you keep shouting that set. I got money for this set this morning.
Oh yeah, that happens a lot.
How does that even play out? What do they expect you to do when they give you money for a set probably you haven't even seen?
So again, this is Nigeria. There are some things that happen that, how they say that if they explain Nigeria to you and you understand, they did not explain it well. Some projects, they don't prioritize the art department. And I feel like I might come off as biased because I'm an art director, but maybe if we go back and look at it in our balance, we need to understand that sometimes every good thing requires time to get ready.
Beautiful.
So you can't give me money this month, and it's something that a lot of clients do. Once they release the funds, once you are mobilized, they believe that they've sorted it all out, and then they now come and start handing you. People we've given you money. They will not tell the people that is this money that we gave you money, or is this money that is just in the set.
Building this world that the actors and the story needs to thrive needs time.
Of course it does. Now also sometimes we are big on ideas, forgetting that there are ways to achieve these things these things. So it's something that I learned from a dear friend of mine, and I like for the trifecta of production design. If it's cheap and fast,
it's not good.
It has a high tendency to not be good.
It's not good.
If it is expensive and fast, it will be very good.
Yeah.
I've forgotten the third one now. There's a way
I understand.
Well, you get the idea of where I'm going now. So people need to realize that good things take time.
Exactly.
Adequate planning. I need time to see the space. I need time to do my market surveys, because prices change almost on a daily basis.
These days, things don't have price on your shelf
anymore. I can give you a budget today, and then you take maybe 2 weeks to activate that budget. In those 2 weeks, a lot of things the budget has changed.
True.
So if I come back and tell you that, oh no, it's not the same, you feel like I want to eat your money. No, we are in the same country.
That's another thing. It feels like the art department is always chopping money because they'll come back to always top up on some stuff.
So now this is the thing, if you do your budget properly, I'm not an advocate for going back to ask for more money after you submit. I've never done it in my career, and I don't think I'm ever going to do it. Once I give you a budget, if there is an error, or if maybe there is something that's
slight change,
I will bear the cost of that, because it's my responsibility to help you maximize your budget as an art director.
Exactly.
So if there's a mistake, I cannot come back to you, the producer, and say, oh, I need more money for this, or, except it's something that we can all agree on, or it is a new set that was not in our initial plan. Those are the
this brings me to the point where I always tell people, once you say yes, whether they have a budget of a White House or they have a budget of a one gazebo somewhere, all you have to do is deliver in that standard that they know you are. Don't come and say, oh, because something changed, that's why it's supposed to be a particular brand, but no, I can't afford it. You now come and mix something that people cannot eat. This brings me to another point. How do you manage props and actors and your set pieces and actors who are overzealous? They will add throwing things into their acting when clearly it's not part of what they are supposed to do. Who bears the cost of all those? Do you just smile and say, it's all right, peace out, you have done your scene, be going?
So I always have conversations with the directors, the ADs, and I try not to have conversations with the actors directly, except they are my friends or we are really cool like that, because sometimes some actors
they
will wash you.
They can be actors.
I'm somebody that I value my dignity. So I will not have anybody talk to me anyhow.
Let me not feel bad because I'm working here.
I talk to the AD and directors. I say, okay, this is the scene we have planned. This is the amount of props that we have for this scene, depending on the amount of takes. If it's a perishable prop, we have some limited amounts that way. So if you want to do maybe 10 takes, I have 10 of these props for you. Now, if the actor gets a creative orgasm in the middle of it, it's allowed for some of these things, because of course we are all working for the same goal, to push out a very wonderful production. But now you don't go and overdo it. Also, there are some actors that don't take care of props. I've worked on period pieces where we've had actors stick their spear into the roof and damage sets. Of course, nobody ever says, "I mean to him." So you just come and you discover some of these things. At the end of the day, I try to plead with the production and beg them that please communicate with your actors. These things, yes,
don't be overzealous.
They are not toys.
If they don't say break something, don't break
it. If you want to break something, we have prepped the one that will break. We will give it to you. Don't go and break the one that I've shed my blood to build.
It was rented or it was
exactly,
and stuff like that. So sometimes people don't. I don't know. I feel I've seen some people who I feel like they don't understand the relationship between the production designer, art director, DOP, and the director, in the sense that developing what's it called, color palettes and the mood and all that. What's your process around that?
So when I get a project, one of the first people I always want to talk to after I finalize with the production is the director and the DOP, because I also observe that some art directors, they might not, consider some of these things. But at the end of the day, whatever it is that you create as a set, it's the DOP that is going to frame these things. So you also need to take into consideration the DOP's input, even your gaffer's input, because some of these things, it's a collaborative effort. So you talk to your DOP, you talk to your director. I've seen when you construct your spaces, you give room, apart from the spaces that your elements, your set dressing elements are going to sit in. You have to give room for camera movement.
Exactly.
You have to give room for your acting room. You have to create spaces for all of this. So a set is not, for example, take this room where we are filming in, for example. If this was to be a set, it's not going to be you don't design it as a regular residential building.
Exactly.
In a residential building, you have no cameras following you around. So you just have your normal room height. But for set construction or for filming, you have to give that extra room height for the lights that are going through. You have to create more space for your camera track. You have to create more room for your actors' movement. So these people, when they are doing when they are carrying out their duties, they do not, the set does not
hinder
come off as an obstacle to them.
Exactly.
Rather, it is it's an embellishment for the work. So it's very important that everybody comes together to do this, to create this. Now, when you do your color palettes, you run it with your director, with your producer, with your DPC. So colors are not clashing on set.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, you don't just throw random colors based on how you're feeling. You throw colors based on the mood, the tone, the style. You know, so your costume colors are not clashing with your set background. It's a whole lot of things that people rarely take into consideration, and then they just wing it. But these are the things that, you know, these are conversations that need to be had, so that when you get into your designing phase, you are thinking about your DOP in mind. You're thinking about your gaffer. You're thinking about the director. You're thinking about the actor. So you accommodate everybody in your space, depending on what the location gives you, or if you are building the space from scratch.
Lagos also is a fast place where producers just feel like, let me go and rent a house and make it a set and just shoot. And then instead of probably taking time to either build so you can create a different world. So you get to a set, you can't touch the walls, you can't do this, you know, and stuff like that.
They are quite limiting.
Yeah, it comes into the...
Oh yeah, so and again, we said this before, budget, which is kind of, sometimes I understand where the production is coming from, because it's not easy. Sometimes film can be a bad business. You know? A lot of us are in it for the passion and for the love. It's our primary source of income, but if we don't like it, we will not be there.
School fees don't go up.
I mean, you are going to resume very soon.
Yeah, very soon. Baba, don't remind me. So yes.
So sometimes, because you are trying to save costs, sometimes the productions get you some spaces that will come with its own challenges, like you said,
from their friends and family.
Yeah, because they are getting it on a very, very friendly budget. But what it now does to you as an art director is it limits you. Now, you have to step up your game. You have to call on your creativity in some certain spaces, because it's not enough. They can't give me a 2x2 room and tell me to convert it to a mansion. No, if it's not work, it's not work. But sometimes you have to get into your creative zone to see how you can now convert that space. Most times I find out that the major things that change the outlook of a space is painting and flooring. Then you have your set dressing elements. Unfortunately, for some of these spaces, they will tell you cannot paint. You cannot change. You cannot do any amendments. So in spaces like, how do you now,
and you still need to deliver something.
You still need to deliver, and then you don't have budget. Hey. So you are fighting.
So it's like tying the man's hands, tying a rock to it, and throwing him into the sea.
Depend on the one. So there are a lot of challenges that come with.
Do you have a side business?
I have a side business, but my side business is tied to my main hustle, which is filming. So I do props and set rentals.
Oh.
So even if I'm not on a project, now the thing is I've not thrown it out there, because I'm also quite wary about who I give my stuff to, because again, you find out that people don't use, when you give people some items, they don't take care of it.
They don't care for it.
Because it's not their own.
It's a long conversation about caring for things.
They cost money. So if I buy a desk lamp at, say, maybe 10,000 naira, for example, and I'm renting it out for 5,000 or maybe 3,000, and then on the first day it goes out, it gets damaged. That's a loss to me.
It's a big loss.
So what I do most times is projects I work on, and I know that now me they in charge, and I have my guys on hand that they can handle it.
Exactly.
I can. So I only give up my elements to people I'm comfortable with, or people that I have worked with before, that I know that they will take care of your stuff the way, because I just start. They know send me go by village.
My brother, village foul.
Now money I take by
kidnappers with the road self
to raise ransom money. That.
So lastly, right? If I was a rookie and I want to be an art director, advise me, please.
Start at the bottom, work your way to the top.
It sounds very vague.
Okay, so this is it. You find
because
out,
I don't know which bottom I want.
So that's what I'm going into now. So you get the structure of the art department.
Okay.
And then, of course, I can't say I just want to start out and I go and say I want to start out as a production designer. No, I have to start at the bottom. If you are coming into production, the bottom, there's no bottom, but if we say, let's say below the line, you start out as a PA. When you come
intern, intern.
Yeah. So when you come into the art department, first you come in as an intern. You look around the art department and see where you want to specialize in. If you want to be a set dresser, if you want to be a props master, whatever you want to specialize in, you can now start growing in that aspect.
Exactly.
Then you also have to find your tribe. It's very important. You find your tribe and then you grow in that. You have to be creative. You have to be creative. You don't necessarily need to know how to. This might come off as a bit controversial, but I feel like you don't really necessarily have to know how to draw, so to speak. Yeah, but you have to be able to recognize stuff. They say something. Learned something about critics one time. They say a critic knows the way, but doesn't know how to drive the car. So you know what you want to achieve. So when you have to have a good eye.
Yeah.
You have to have a good eye for quality. You learn and then you work with people who are willing to absorb you into teams.
Exactly.
Like I said earlier on, money is important, but if you are coming in, don't prioritize it. Take it as your sacrifice for your learning step. I have done jobs growing up where I was paid in food. I've been paid bread and egg and Fanta as my
wait, is that the food?
Yes, that was
bread,
my payment.
Egg and Fanta.
Bread, egg,
like
they press with cold Fanta. They press them. That was my payment. Wow. And I was happy that yes, I don't do work. So when people were talking, that show was great, I was there. I know if you go to tell people saying food then pay me, but I was there.
And you're paid in bread and Fanta.
So I grew in that. I do power. I don't do carpenter work. You see all these flats and everything. I've done it. So sometimes when I work with some of my team and then my carpenters are giving me some this, I tell you, I don't get belly now. I don't do them before. I don't just be they do them again. So it's because I have learned the ropes and I've started from the. That's what I mean by start from the bottom and work your way up. Start from the bottom. I learned the carpentry. So sometimes I can look at a space based on again experience. I can look at the space and tell you that this space can't be more than 8 to 10 feet, and you put it up and it's because I've done it consistently over the years.
Done at Joche, done Riona, done
DJ, Last Giddy Cup.
Hey, Baba Last Giddy Cup. International. Thank you very much for coming, man.
Thank you so much for having me.
See, you need to understand that in this process, if you want to take it as a career or as a business, you need to have passion. There's money. It's good to go for money. But if you don't have anything to deliver, you cannot be paid in the amounts you want to be paid. So you have to work and understand exactly what it takes to be what you want to be. This is Gafferman. Nothing too serious. But we got serious at some point. You understand me? We're here always.